Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today we will be taking a look at the Era 3 Premium Medium, the Dragula T-55 AGM. This is another premium tank in the heavy metal themed series, this one being the themed tank for Rob Zombie. The base price outside of any discount is 14,400 gold, but with the completion of the current active challenges that will drop to 7,200 in the near future, so that's a 50% discount. The Dragula feels like a very meh tank, in my opinion. It's not bad, but at the same time, it doesn't strike me as being particularly special in any particular way. If you wait for the discount, then yes, it's worth getting because you're getting a decent Era 3 Premium for the same price as a Tier 8 Premium. But outside of the discount, it's difficult for me to say that this thing is worth getting. What I can say about it, though, is that the Dragula is a textbook definition of power creep. So, let's take a look at the stats so I can show you exactly what I mean by that. Era 3 doesn't have many premium mediums, so I will compare the Dragula to the very first premium medium that was released into Era 3, which, at its time of release, boasted the highest penetration in Era 3. That tank was the Type 59D. Okay, so the Dragula has 606mm of penetration on standard rounds. The 59D has 605mm of penetration on standard rounds. Each round from the Dragula will do an average of 550 alpha. Each round from the 59D will do an average of 480 alpha. The Dragula has 3,600 hit points, the 59D has 3,140, that's quite a lot, you know, difference, that's a big difference. The unboosted top speed of the Dragula is 70 kilometers an hour, the 59D will max out at 61 kilometers an hour, again, not a small difference. The view range of the Dragula is 560, the 59D is 525, which again, you know, that's quite a long way, but True Vision kind of negates that, not that big a deal. The moving and still concealment of the Dragula is 399 and 365 meters respectively, while the 59D is 408 and 377 meters respectively. So at a very high level, those are the two tanks, side by side. If you wanted a definition of power creep over time, this is it. Right here. This is it. Statistically, Dragula is better than the 59D in every single way. The newest premium is far and away better than the very first premium. And Cold War isn't that old. For a game mode, you know, the World War II game mode has been around for 10 plus years, you know, inside console 10 years, outside console a lot longer because it was on PC. Cold War's only been around for what, 3.5 roughly, you know, years, and here we are. We're in a place where the newest premium just completely outshines the very first premium in every single way possible. If I had to stick up for the 59D, then I would say that it's got 2 more degrees of gun depression, which, you know, that is noticeable. The gun depression only being 5 degrees on the Dragula, you notice it. It is a limitation, I'll admit. It's a frustrating limitation because, you know, you've got to peak more than you'd like to. You can't get your gun on target. That is frustrating. So the 59D does have it beaten in that area. And the 59D does have an extra 23 damage on its DPM. But, I mean, come on. 23 damage on your DPM? Yeah, nearest makes no difference. That's the same. I mean, RNG will completely flatten that out in no time whatsoever. Other than that, it's a pretty sad story. Because not even the economy stats can save the 59D. The Dragula has a 50% silver boost, 10% tank XP boost, 3% free XP boost, and finally a 25% crew XP boost. If you switch the tank and crew XP boosts around, you get the 59D. So the Dragula is also a mini crew trainer, which, you know, again, That's another, you know, solid reason for getting the Dragula. It's a cheap Era 3 premium, and it can double up as an independent. That's also key, I haven't mentioned that. This is an independent tank, part of the independent nation. It's a crew trainer for the independents, so, you know, there's that going for it. And that completely wipes out the 59D. Completely. So, as of now, there is no reason to own the 59D. Simple as. There isn't any reason to own that tank, because the Dragula has just surpassed it in every single way. And this is very sad to me, because the 59D holds a special place in my heart. It was the first of its kind. At the time, when it was released, it was the first. The very first premium that we had in Era 3. And of course, that makes it special. It was once a record holder. It used to have the highest penetration of any gun in Era 3. But due to Wargaming's incessant drive for power leaping, the 59D is now just a shadow of its former self. And that is sad to me. So, should you get the Dragula? Yeah, I guess you could. I mean, it's not bad. With the discount, it's going to be relatively cheap to pick up. But the problem with it is it's a great example of self-sabotage in the game, because it will eventually make itself irrelevant, because it's happened to the 59D, and because it's happened to the 59D, eventually, given enough time, and the power creep, or power leaping I should say in this game, the Dragula is eventually going to also be irrelevant. So take that how you want. Not a particularly positive note for this tank review, but hey, that is how I see it. That is the truth of the matter. So there you go, guys. Should you get the Dragula? Yeah, you probably could, but just be warned, it's likely to become irrelevant in the future, because that is how Wargaming progress. Power leap in their own game. So there you go. Alright guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, if not a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.